Ray, have we done attendance? Do we need to take attendance?
We do have a quorum, with the exception of Mr. Tiger. Yeah, so we all are present.
Carlos is unable to join us today, so we'll proceed. Any public comment for the group?
We have not received any requests for public comments.
Okay. Regular agenda items removed from the consent agenda, if any. Does anyone have anything to remove? All right. You know, I'm going to back up already, and we have a new committee member, Amy. Welcome.
Thank you.
You wanted to just take a minute and just introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Amy Roser, and I'm the new replacement for Stan Gozier from Unit 5. So I've been on the Unit 5 board for a while. I'm currently filling my second term as a board. I was appointed prior to that, so I guess that's quick math, 4, 5, 6 years so far on the Unit 5 board. I served 2 years as president during the pandemic. That was a lot of fun. And so I'm here. This is a new committee and a new role for me. This is very much outside my wheelhouse, but it's fun and very interesting, and I love learning new things. My husband is a facilities kind of guy, so I pick up a lot from him, but very excited to be here. My day job is I work at Illinois State University. I've been there close to 30 years, and with helping students in staying in college, retaining and early interventions to help students stay on course and to get to graduation.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
And Ray, you have somebody to introduce a staff member.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while, 3 months since we last met, so I appreciate almost the full attendance. During the course of a few months, we have a new assistant planner who joined us, Thomas Valencia, and give us a little bit background, if you will.
Of course. So yeah, my name's Thomas Valencia. Next week will actually be my 3rd month here. So I don't know if you can still consider that new, but yeah, I graduated from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign in December 2022, which was 2.5 years earlier than anticipated. And while I was in school in Champaign, I interned with the Champaign-Urbana Mass Transit District, working with the Safe Routes to School program there. After graduation, I moved over to the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission. So MPOs, Central Illinois, not new to me. I understand all the little quirks we have when it comes to regional planning commissions. So I spent a good time there. And then after Champaign RPC, I moved back to the Chicago suburbs. I'm originally from Zion, Illinois, which is up north by Wisconsin. And I spent some time working for the city of Highland Park, getting a taste of what municipal planning is like. And then 3 months ago, I joined the team here. Had a good time so far, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you and seeing how much we can do to make the lives of the people of McLean County better.
Thank you. Before we gained Thomas, we also lost Francesca, if you recall, first you can move to Chicago land. For opportunity there. So we have opening for Planner 1 and also an opening for Planner 2 for Tanya, who may or may not come back. We hope she will. So we'll see. But so that, you know, we kind of saw that, but we have a lot in place, so we have to work smart and also work efficiently. Still trying to meet all the expectations. So yeah, but thank you.
Looks like Thomas has a lot of experiences, so he'll be able to jump in and
yeah, he's been quite helpful since then.
Great. Okay, now we're back on track on 5B, authorization to execute contracts by the chairperson for consulting services regarding the Veterans Parkway Corridor Plan.
Yeah,
Want to tee that one up?
Yeah, thank you. Just a background for some of you who've been here for a few years. You've heard our update on this very important project for our region, which is a federal grant for the Veterans Parkway Corridor Plan. we applied and got a federal grant. It's under the economic ways. I didn't want to, I mean, you know what it stands for in the memo that we sent to you. We're so lucky because back for that round, we were the only entity in the state of Illinois who got a planning grant under the WASE program for that year. And so it took a while. It's kind of a long time coming. We finally got to where we are, after some grant agreement and some technical issues, and also we issued an RFP for a consultant, a request for proposals for consultants, because it's a huge project. It's going to take, we're looking at about 2 years to complete this project, and this is for the roadway that you have traveled on. It's a 10-mile stretch, really so important. I still remember, like, we got letter support from the airport, and others, and really it's a great project. It's not just not getting a federal grant, but also having partnership and contributions financially from IDA, Illinois Department of Transportation, city, town, county, Connect Transit, and also the staff will be providing in-kind contribution to make it work for this 83-year-old roadway. So that's the thing about the impact. Whatever the planning, when it's done in about 2 years, the impact is going to be affecting the next generations. So we went through an RFP process. We had a committee, a consultant selection committee that helped us together. You were part of it to have to select consultants that would fit for this and appropriate for this assignment, if you will. And so we did receive responses. We're grateful. So it wasn't easy, but we did come to a consultant that we would recommend, and this is Sam Schwartz Consulting, LLC. And we have a couple of the consulting team members on screen virtually joining us. Sarah Disney, Halvey, she's waving, and she's the principal in charge and the project director. We have two co-project managers, Mark Bennett, and also Kyle Sant and Ray. And so they're based, Samsung is a national firm. The team that we will be working on, you approving tonight's contract, will be out of the Chicago office. And so, they have done projects, different parts of the country, good applications. It wasn't easy decision, just to let you know too. But I think at the end, this is the team that we are recommending, and this will be for a consultant fee of $575,000 of the overall project cost of $775,000. And like I said, the process, if you approve tonight's contract and allowing the chairman of the CLPC to execute the contract, it's going to be taking about 2 years for the process, which will include not just the technical research, data, traffic counts, but also a lot of community engagement. There will be like website, survey, and other ways to get public input. We're looking at how we thinking, we planning, we inventing this 10-mile Veterans Parkway between two I-55 interchanges. So looking at safety, you want to, as you know, it's kind of auto-oriented roadway. You don't see any bus stops along the way. There might be one or two of IAA Drive, but it's not on the main track. But still, there are a lot of businesses, large and small, hospitals, major corporate employer and other, different businesses along the roadway, and even senior housing, apartments, residential on both sides. So it's a major endeavor. From what I heard from Jen, who's been here a longer time than me, this is federal grants, federal project that we got grant for this discretionary grant in the recent history of MCRPC. And a lot of staff, if I may say, that work on the application diligently. Some have already moved on, but we appreciate Jan also being still here, but have members who work on the application. So we finally got to this point. It's an exciting, not just a project. We look at this is looking at safety, looking at equity, looking at economic, land use, housing, and what's the market, market for along the roadway. So it's not just looking at traffic. How to get, you have seen people crossing, and you also have heard or read in the news about fatalities, people trying to cross the roadway. You've seen people walking along the roadway despite there's no sidewalks. You might have seen people on a bike or a stroller or something trying to cross. Even people, disabled people, their wheelchair trying to cross, I've seen. So it's a very important project for the whole community. And it's not just for the urban area, because there are people who try to go to the airport, from the rural area, they take Route 9. There's freight, trucks and FedEx, UPS, others who use that, every day. So people to come to our area for medical appointments, for shopping, for schools, for jobs, recreation. So this is such an important project. And we're just so thankful. We did it not just alone. We have so many partners backed by IDOT. They also, we are hoping this is one of those projects that will set a stage or like a case study once it's completed for other Veterans Parkway in the state of Illinois. So that's my expectations. That's the standard. Because there are many, as you know, there are other roadways that may or may not call Veterans Parkway, but kind of have the similar characteristics. It's got a urban expressway. And so with you is a copy of the draft agreement for the contract with the consultant. It's been through the legal review, and it's up for your consideration for approval and to allow the execution of the contract by the chairperson of MCRPC. If you have questions that I cannot answer, the consulting team, or you feel free to ask the consulting team members to answer.
Maybe we can ask the consulting team, do you have anything you want to add at the beginning, and then we'll ask the committee if they have any questions.
Can you all hear us?
Go ahead, Mark.
Can you hear us?
Did it turn it up? Did it? Okay. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Now we can, but not as loud as we would like to.
Well, I'll keep it brief then, and just say that that we've really enjoyed working with the staff through this process so far. We agree with Ray that this has the potential to be a project that sets a standard for roadways like this throughout the state. And the final thing I'll say is that I know nobody's goal is to establish a planning study. The planning study here is a vehicle to help move this project towards the future phases. And so we'll be focusing our time and our resources to helping make sure that we do what's necessary to set this corridor up for funding in the future to make change happen and not just have a planning document. So really happy to be with you all today and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mark. See if anybody at the table has any questions for you or opposed. There, anybody? Questions?
Yeah, I had a couple, Jim. Even just like looking at the next agenda item, Ray, you run a very frugal organization in terms of like how you manage your staff and the budget and things. So, looking at page 15, it's broken down in labor hours as you would expect for a consulting company. But I just want to know, with the project staffing and management plan that was submitted as part of the RFP, was that sort of broken down by like how this was going to be staffed? So like at what level the work was going to be done? So how much was allotted to like a project manager versus an engineer versus a planner versus someone who's counting the vehicle traffic? Like,
I was going to mention too, on our side, on the staff side, MCRPC staff, Jen will be got a project coordinator, project manager. I become working alongside with her together on this project. We'll be the main contacts with IDOT. Between Jen and I, we have a lot of experience in not just transportation planning, but also grant management and working with consultants. And and we recognize we have so many other major projects on our plate as well. When we applied for this and after we heard from feds that we got the grant, it's been on our mind and on our plate, on our radar, actually for a while. And so when we put the proposal application together, we also put in the in-kind, so to speak, and that translate into what we anticipate, number of hours and what it costs for money toward the overall project. And that's why, besides the consultant fees, we already set aside a certain amount of in-kind contributions because we have to report to the U.S. Department of Transportation, to Illinois Department of Transportation as well. And so when we went through the budget and also the hours, there will be 4 phases throughout the project. And we anticipate a lot of oversight, making sure, and also coordinate with a reformed project steering committee, and also a lot of communications between the consultants and the staff. Now, we also recognize that since we are locals, I mean, Jen and I, we are like here, on the committee engagement, we probably will put in a lot, and it cannot be done just between Jen and myself. We'll enlist help from other staff members if necessary, but then as part of the consultant scope of services, they will be doing a lot of that work too. We can't supplement their work. So what we see is, yes, it's a lot of work, but the consultants, that's why they're getting a good chunk of the overall project cost. But then widely so, because they actually will have 3 other sub-consultants who will have to carry out the work. And so in the engineering firm and another firm that would do public engagement and other scope of services. So we're confident for the staff because we have obligations that we have to meet to the feds and the state. So we have to meet all the deadlines, and just FYI, every 3 months we have to give a progress report and a financial report to the feds. And we've been doing that, although the contract is done, but since the agreement has been executed, the federal government, we've been providing status updates. So I think unless there's surprises, we should be okay.
Excuse me, once we approve this today, are there any other approvals required, or is it a go then? Is that the end?
That should be the end.
Let's go back to the local government or to the feds or to the state.
Yeah, not in terms of the contract with the consultant, because the contract is between the same SWAT consulting and CRPC. Now, there are financial contributions by others, so there's some mechanisms for us to make sure the financial contributions we provided to us, they'll can utilize a lot as a agreement thing. I hope not, because they are committed to provide that already. So I don't see, but those partners will require something to you, or just also for formality, because they already committed so much financial contributions for the duration during the duration of the project.
The grant funds dispersed up on a reimbursable basis,
Reimbursable.
on a set schedule or as mile markers on.
It's for between the a little bit more detail, so that because this actually is really kind of unusual financial arrangement, but I would like for the commission to understand too, because Jen and I, we've worked with IDOT and the Fed for many months on this already. On paper, IDOT is the recipient of the grant.
Channeling it, give it channeling.
Kind of, yeah. And then MCLPC is what they call the first tier of recipient. So all these terms, right? But then IDOT is supposed to provide assistance and oversight our work. And we have no problem with that because we are local. We know the landscape, right? Because we want to work with the community, our own community, with different agencies and partners. So we want to make sure that a certain standards are met, the quality of work will be achieved. So we have no problem with that. In terms of money, so IDOT will be managing the financial and all the reporting, but then we actually will be the ones filling in the forms for IDOT so that they can submit to that.
So then do we pay Sam Schwartz or
When Sam Schwartz sent us an invoice, we would pay, let me see, when we get the invoice from Sam Schwartz, we will send the invoice to IDOT. IDOT will pay Sam Schwartz because IDOT has collected all these contributions from our partners.
if you could cash flow that?
Yeah.
We don't have this, the state's doing.
Yeah, it's very complicated. This is the first time, and we appreciate IDOT for making a major contribution because they know this is their road. We plan for their road, but it's benefiting our community. So IDOT they're making really a major financial contributions over $220,000 for the as part of the project cost. But so they're managing the money. They have collected the contributions from the city, from the town, from the county, and from Connect Transit. So they have this pot sitting there, so they can pay. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, who confirms that the scope of work being completed? Is it us? Okay, and then we tell IDOT that yes, that scope of work has been reached. We approve this invoice.
Yeah, step will. Yeah, step. Yeah, we like what I mentioned, there will be like quarterly progress reports and also quarterly financial reports that we have to submit to IDOT and then to the feds. So we want to make sure that corresponds to the work that's been completed since it's on a reimbursable basis.
Anybody else? Anything final from the consultant group to clarify any discussion we had?
Sarah, as a principal in charge, you want to say anything? Up to you. Okay.
I'll say it's a little echoey, and so I followed most of what you all said, but I'll also say that Ray and Jennifer have been extremely knowledgeable in sharing with us the processes that this will go through. As Ray said, we're here to supplement and work collaboratively with the MCRPC team because it is our goal to provide a platform for this project to be successful. We're not in the business of creating beautiful reports. We're in the business of investing in communities so they can actually enjoy the outcome of the work that we put together. So it's exciting to us to be part of this. And as far as any of the paperwork elements, we've worked with IDOT as a client with various counties and MPOs and municipalities. So that's a footnote to the great work that I know we can all do together. So thank you for the opportunity to work with you all.
Thank you very much. Okay, are we at the point of asking for a motion for approval of the right state contract?
I'll make the motion, Jim. We authorize the chair to execute the contract.
Roll call or voice vote?
Anybody?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And item 5C, approval of proposed fiscal year 2025 overall work program. People on the screen, sticking around.
Up to you all. If you want to stay, up to you. Welcome to stay if you like. Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Good to see you all. I'm actually going
Thank
to
you.
jump out and start some of the paperwork.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Good evening.
Good to see you all.
Yeah, so for item 5C, regarding approval of the 2025 overall work program, which is essentially our budget. As most of you know, I'm sure Amy has brought up, it's pretty quick. We do two budgets every year. One is for IDOT, Department of Transportation, based on the state budget fiscal year, and also one for the county as the by calendar year in the fiscal year. So we start off the GATA, the Illinois grant, accountancy, and transparency. And so a few years ago, we started doing, in addition to the IDOT budget for IDOT, the county budget. So this is for the county. That's for 2025, January 1 through December 31st. And so this is what we call the overall work program. I know some of you got relatively new, so you might not have been gone through this process in the past. And so we also, for the IDOT, which we have a document called Unified Work Program. And so since this is beginning of September, so we are in the IDOT's FY or say FY 2025, right? 20, yeah. And so we're in the beginning phase of this. So we have drafted and presented to the county administration, and also with the recommendation of approval by our MCRPC executive committee meeting a couple of weeks ago. So this FY25 budget is for your consideration. With your approval, then it will go to the county board. You'll go back to the county process. And so we have paper copies distributed, and some of you pick up paper copies. Just besides that document, we have prepared, but really is Jan's work on this table that the larger table kind of summarize really the budget, and it's maybe easier to have a quick glimpse and have an idea of what the revenues and the expenses and where are the major like work elements. And this year we have also added explanation sheets on the cover just to give you a better explanation in case you're aware of the different categories, right? And all for background information. And so for this year's budget, and if you would look at this, the larger sheet, maybe easier to see. This year's over budget, this year meaning this next fiscal year, it's about $1.55 million, and this is slightly less than FY24, and not that because we have less money, but because, as you know, our revenue sources are basically grants, and so we have completed a couple grants this past year, and also we have with the newer grants such as the waste grant that you have just approved a contract for. So that's why there's some fluctuations from year to year. But in fact, we got a little bit more money from the feds to IDOT on the annual allocation, if you will. And so, so while we have less money, but it's not a bad thing, because actually we still have enough to pay staff, consultants, and other needs. So, so this is really for your consideration of approval, and then before going to the county board. So the draft minutes from the executive committee was included in your package earlier, just for reference. They haven't even approved their because that's like a couple weeks. Yeah, but I'll entertain any questions.
And I'll mention during the executive committee, the town of Normal, city manager, town manager was there, city of Bloomington, city manager, and the county administrators.
Yeah,
all three of those people were there. Their questions,
yeah,
they were resolved. Yeah. But a lot of work has gone into this by staff, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Many people work on this. The whole team actually.
So see if anybody at the table would like to ask questions of Ray.
Ray, I think it kind of leads into a question that was asked on the last information item with the staffing openings. Are you guys going to have enough staff, and are we going to be able to get those positions filled quick enough to? This is a lot of work, that goes into not just this, but what this represents. So I guess I'm just kind of curious. I'm worried for all of you guys that are putting all the items like this together for us, and I know that's just the tip of the iceberg. Do we have enough resources to complete successfully? Need to complete.
I cannot say enough of how I'm grateful for our staff team. Although we don't have the full staff, they work hard. And sometimes, just give extra, despite sometimes, the health situations. And we have actually over the summer, we had 2 interns. One stays on, and you have met her, I think, maybe not, because the summer started. And then one went back to school, so we're recruiting for another intern. We have a lot, as you pointed out, we have a lot on our plate, and we just have to work smarter, more efficiently. Like I said before, we recognize, especially for the grants, we have obligations to meet, and so we just have to, we just work harder. I guess there's no other way, because it just so happened, with just anything else too. A lot of major projects, the consolidated plan, comprehensive plan, this major plans that sometimes when we apply, we didn't know if we would get the grants. We got the grants is above and beyond what we daily operation. We also grateful that we got the grants because we put us on the federal radar in terms of, hey, they trust us. It's so competitive for those federal grants. You're competing with so many others from other parts of the country. And so we're grateful. So we're not taking those lightly, but we just work hard. And we just sometimes have to prioritize. And I think people know we're short staff, and so there's expectations. And then partners, local partners in towns, is certain things, if they can help, out in certain ways, we can. And but yeah, our team worked really hard. We're still recruiting, and not just locally. We put our website and other American Planning Association website to advertise for positions. But we're also competing with other NPOs in the region, competing with Chicago. We have many planning jobs. It's not easy. We recruit people to Bloomington, normal area, and even the IDOT and federal agencies, they're hiring as well. So, but we also in a state of people great resignation, or people like to move around, especially for the younger generations. You've read in the news, but it's not unique here. And it's not easy to recruit, but we're doing our best. So we're grateful. I mean, like Thomas is a good example. Went to school, in Central Illinois. Familiar with Central Illinois, and like the work we do, and decide to apply. So it's very competitive.
Are we competitive in as far as compensation is concerned for recruiting?
We could use more money. Not that we don't have enough money, but we are kind of bound by the.
Is there anything to do with that?
We'll be talking with the administration. There's some way that there's some ways that they can, how do I explain? We're bounded by the compensation system of county, for people who don't know it yet. So while IDOT may provide additional money allocation, it's not just, I would love to give everybody like 5,000 bonus every year, right? But because the system, so we have to work with the administration, see there's some exceptions, some rules, some ways that can give us some flexibility in terms of even raising that starting salary rate. We're a little bit better than some of the NPOs in the area, but we are about equal and sometimes a little bit less than some. For example, we recently lost a potential candidate or potential prospective planner for us because she stayed on with her current employer in Central Illinois with the NPO and more money that they can afford. So yeah, it's not easy.
All the work there is to make sure we can retain people and get good people.
Yeah, and recognize money is another thing that we have to work on.
I recognize too, but I asked the question, I know that we're into the county-based system.
Yeah. So it's one of the things on my mind. I think a lot because I like turnover, but then also we have staff that they're not tied, married to this area. They like to move around, like to see other parts of the country and doing other planning related things too. I understand for different reasons. It's not easy, but money is just one of the things too. And sometimes when they are here for a year or two, it's for people starting their career, maybe 2 years into their career, but they want to learn different things. It's not easy. city and town, they also, they have experienced those kind of turnovers with their planning staff.
So sure, I've seen a lot of turnover the last few years. Opportunities for those people that takes a lot of retraining and
Yeah,
onboarding that goes on, so
yeah, the recruitment, the training, and everything. Now, as you're aware, last few years, there's a lot of federal money, you know, like the race grant, there's a lot of federal money on infrastructure, transportation related. People who may not like public sector, they want opportunities with the private sector as well. And so we're competing with the private sector. And so, yeah, a lot of federal money. I mean, for planners, this is such a once in a generation, once in a lifetime opportunity for planning, especially transportation planning. Yeah, so we just have to deal with it.
so it sounds like we'll get it done.
Yeah, somehow, sometime.
I'm not worried about you getting it done. I know you'll get it done. I already knew the answer to that. I'm worried about human toll.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm just concerned that
Yeah.
you've got a dedicated staff. We don't want to take advantage of that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, every year, and you have read the documents, every year we can only take in 1950 hours of work. So what it means is within that 1950 hours that they do their work, meet all the agencies, our own obligations and responsibilities. So how do we, it's like if we have $1950, how do we juggle to make it work? No, it's again, like I said, just within the 1950 hours, how do we prioritize, how do we work smart is and still meet the objective. It's not easy, but they're all smart people. So. I'm sorry.
Okay, anything else from the table? We have a question, discussion? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the proposed fiscal year 2025 work program. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any against? Hearing none. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Discussion. Appreciation for the staff. There was a real message there. Thank everybody. Gets it done. Mark, are you up for the regional housing initiative update?
So we've got a lot to report over the last couple of months, so bear with me. I've been sitting all day. So MCRPC staff hosted the Housing Initiative Housing Staff meetings May through August, including a guest speaker department from the Center for Services on the Department of Support and Housing Project Sue's Landing. Promoted the CDBG Consolidated Plan Resident Feedback Survey at the Low Vision Fair at Westminster Village, McLean County Fair, State Farm School Event, and Festival ISU Consolidated Plan Outreach. The survey was closed at the end of August. MCRPC staff finalized the white paper Bloomington normal rental rate analysis from 2022 to 2024, which is posted on our website. I recommend give it a read. It's also got some really accessible maps on which areas of Bloomington have higher rates, which areas are quicker, so which is on the periphery. And so that is available for your reading. MCRPC staff co-facilitated 7 focus group workshops in August. And that included approximately 60 individuals from different organizations, companies, including homeless and housing nonprofits, infrastructure, resiliency, lenders, realtors, developers, social services, healthcare providers, major employers, economic development, landlords, and college. We just completed our last one last week with college student workshop. And then last thing on local updates is MCRPC staff met with the city, town, and PATH, planning for the conclusion of the public and stakeholder engagement and plan for next steps regarding our data analysis. So we will have to do the survey data, do the focus group workshop data, through our one-on-one data. So a lot of analysis over the next month and a half, especially. So regional housing recovery plan updates. We did draft the RISE implementation committee models for consideration, and that, of course, if you remember, the RISE grants research in Illinois to spur economic recovery. Not RISER, it's RISE for a reason. Implementation committee model for consideration by the MTRPC Executive Committee. We also had staff presented the regional housing recovery plan to several boards and bodies between May and August of this year, starting off with the Normal Town Council, Bloomington City Council, McLean County Board, did Illinois Realtors Association, McLean County Mayors Association, Bloomington Normal Economic Development Council, Chamber of Commerce Board, the Bloomington Normal Invest Health Committee, Connect Transit Board, and the Bloomington Normal NAACP. And then lastly, under regional housing recovery plans, we have MCRPC staff applied to DCEO for the RISE implementation grant back in July to fund the housing coordinator position for a 2-year period. And then last but not least, under other, we have participated, MCRPC staff participated in temporary safe outdoor shelter coalition meetings hosted by the city of Bloomington in May and July to address the homeless encampments. And we also, Ray had served on the WGLT Housing Solutions panel back in May. And so, throwing a lot at you, any questions? Any questions at all?
We start.
Yeah. Anything that comes up to your mind, if you have anything?
Any questions? Thank you.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is Human Services Transportation Plan from Jennifer and Ray. Who wants to go first?
I'll defer to Jen.
Thank you, Ray. Very much. Not at all. And I don't want to hold you up because we have a spectacular late summer afternoon out there, so very quickly. We spoke about this beginning of May, our last meeting, so I'll summarize what's happened. Since then, as you know, on the Human Services Transportation Plan update for 2024, we've been working on this since January. I want to shout out in particular to both Francesca Lewis and Tanya Barreto for the incredible amount of work they've done during that period. Sadly, I can't do it because they left us, but they were instrumental in getting this done, in reaching out to all 5 counties, Region 6 area, to local government, to our participating agencies, to the public agencies. In some cases, we hadn't heard from for some time, so it was a major effort, and they went way above and beyond. So we held a series of, as you know, in-person and regional virtual meetings with the regional committees in March, May, and June of this year. After a very long plan development process, again, starting last summer, the plan was adopted by the Region 6 Policy Committee on June 17th at our meeting in Pontiac. The plan is now posted on our website. It's tricky to find. If you want to give me a call. As I mentioned, particular thanks to both Francesca and Tanya for all of their work and their continued engagement through that period with agencies, stakeholders, and the public in all 5 counties. And our quarterly meetings will resume on the 16th of this month, starting, we hope, in a new location more central to all 5 counties, and as much participation as we can drag in the door or get going trying to take up the new plan, do some structural changes to the committees, and launch on a massive outreach process with the public in all 5 counties again. Happy to take any questions or let you go outside. Hearing none, I'll sit. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
Not really, HSTP.
All right. See, Vision Zero, Go Safe McLean County Action Plan.
This is again related to transportation safety grants and activities. During the last few months, we actually have staff have attended and participated in a couple of public events, the county fair, the street corn circus. We had staff tables, had swags and information related to transportation, safety, collectibles, and we're trying to promote the safety message. It was well attended over those 2 events, and we'll keep doing that, but that leads to the 2 grants that now that we got the race grant kind of contract done, so the next two grants related to transportation safety. One is the SS4A, Safe Street and Roads for another federal grants that we gratefully accepted, and that's to promote, but to for the action plan, safety plan to augment what the one that was adopted by you all a few years ago that was funded by the state. Now it's a federal grant, there's additional elements, additional materials, processing that will be conducted. So we're looking at a draft RFP, and we'll be also looking to hire consultants on that so that you'll get that on track. The other grant is called the SPR grant. It's an IDOT grant. SPR stands for State Planning and Research Grant. And for this particular, there's different categories, but this one again relates to safety. But it's to market, if you will, to market and promote for public awareness and public education about transportation. So those will come shortly. You will get consultants on board. So let the consultants do the work. We manage the consultant, so we can do our day-to-day stuff. So that's a.
Thank you for that. Question, comment?
Yeah, question.
Vote on the consent agenda?
Yeah. We
did not? Let's do that. All right. My error. So back to consent agenda. I'd like to have a motion to approve those items that are listed there. So moved. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none. What else did we miss?
No.
So we're on to that which may arise, and probably Billy, Phil, and Marcy, do you have anything you want to add in the course of this meeting?
Well,
You want to go?
no, just really quickly, you were talking about the amount of work that this organization does, and just know that it's appreciated, honestly. We work very closely together, and there's a lot of things that they do that we can't do, honestly. And we like I said, we work very closely together. In improving this work plan, it's going to do a lot for this region. A lot of great stuff, a lot of stuff coming forward. So this is one thing we appreciate this group.
And your work too, so it takes a team to make it happen. Phil or Mercy, anything to add?
No, I'm good.
I'm good too. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you both. All righty. Anything else for anyone before we ask for adjournment? Motion. Almost good. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Have a good, beautiful evening out there. Good night.